Hey, welcome back to the Pen Hut YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk about for different pens, but primarily on sizes. Especially if you're getting into fountain pens, you're probably going to get people recommending like a what's it called, a Pilot Metropolitan or a Lamy Safari, things like that. But how do you know after you're done with those, or after you have a lot of practice with those, how do you know where to go from there? Because there's a lot of pens that are very different sizes. I would have to say weight is probably a big factor. You want to make sure that the pen is well balanced, and that's any pen. It can be lightweight or it can be heavy, but if it has a nice balance to it, usually the front should be a little bit front heavy. It should, react pretty good to you. So I'm going to show you a small pen. This is a Ecosport. This is one of those that's considered a pocket pen. So this one unscrews, pull it out, and it's that short. So if you put it in your hand, it's very, very, very small. So this one is meant to be posted. So you just stick it into the back, and then you can write with it. It is very lightweight, which is nice. And very comfortable, and most often not the nibs are tuned very nicely. So this is just the regular Sport. They do come out with a AL Sport, which is aluminum, so it adds a little bit of weight. I don't have one here to show you. And then they also have the brass, which is much heavier. And because they're so small, and the section, the part that you're holding onto, is not very big, they're generally very comfortable. So the next size up would be basically medium. This is very average. This is a oh my god, I know it's a 3776. Oh, the Platinum. Sorry, the Platinum 3776. It's a very average size. This is a cigar shape, which is very common in a lot of Japanese pens. And this is hovering around $100. Could be a little bit less, could be a little bit more, depending on where you're looking, which variety. There's a lot of different versions. But it's a very standard size. So definitely, stick out further than your hand. And it's nice, very lightweight. Once again, this is very well balanced. So it's very comfortable, and you can see the section here is pretty long actually. Now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty long, and so it's nice. This one you can post, and for me, it doesn't bother me posted because the weight of the back of it sits right where your hand is, so it's not super back weighted. It's still balanced even if you're writing and you have the cap on. Although this feels very good, very nice too, all by itself there. But a nice section, very comfortable. Then you go to an oversized pen. I'm going to show you these two right here. This one's the smaller of the two. This is the Stipula Etruria. Is that right? Yes. This is a big pen. This is a very, very nice pen. Not super expensive, and now that I'm thinking about it, unless you're going for like a Jinhao, I think it's the 169, you don't often find oversized pens for very cheap. Usually you have to spend quite a bit, unless it's one of those like small Chinese brands where they do make large ones, but those tend to be metal, and those are very heavy. These are way more comfortable. So you'll see this is a twist cap, but see how the section there tapers in, which is nice. So let me put it in my hand. So even though it is girthy on the back, the section is nice and comfortable. The whole thing's actually very nice and comfortable. This is definitely heavier than the Platinum, but you feel substance. It doesn't feel heavy. It just feels like you have something a little bit bigger. And this one's actually very comfortable, so I like this one. And then you can post it, but this is one where when you post it, you do feel a little bit of that heaviness in the back because it's so long. It's going to feel just a tad too heavy on the back. So this is one that I would not post because this is long enough and big enough where it's very, very comfortable. So another one that I like that's similar to this one, it's a little bit longer, is the Edison Collier. This one was one of those that I found online at one point. Love the color. It just shines. It's beautiful. So even though I knew it was big because I saw the photos, you see the reviews. When you order online, it's tough to know, am I going to be able to manage that, or is it going to be uncomfortable? But I knew that I liked the styling enough, and the reviews for Edison pens were very, very, very good. So I took a chance on it a little bit, and very comfortable. They're almost the same weight between these two. I feel like this one might be slightly heavier, but I don't know. I could be imagining, but just slightly heavier. But it's very comfortable. I like the nib on it too. This one is not meant for capping or posting. It doesn't really go deep enough. You could force it, but you don't want to accidentally damage something there. So it's meant to not be posted, which is fine, since it is a very large pen. But it's a very good pen, Edison Collier. Now, this is another one which is considered oversized. And this is the Visconti Homosapiens U-H. Now this one does have some weight to it. This is definitely heavier than all the other pens I've shown you. And that's one thing that made me a little nervous because of the material on this is basaltic lava mixed with resin. So I can, keep its shape and not fall apart and things like that. It's definitely heavier. And that was very worrisome, but I heard so many great reviews about this pen. Nice length to it. The section is actually very comfortable. This whole material is very comfortable. You can see this section is a little bit thicker than some of the other ones, or thicker than the smaller pens. But once again, this one is very comfortable. It doesn't feel as heavy as it actually is. It's very well balanced. This one I would definitely not post. It makes it very long, and the cap is pretty heavy, so I wouldn't post that one. But that's on the bigger size. So I'm gonna put the this one here, the Collier, next to this here, so you guys can kind of get an idea on the size. So you can see it's much shorter. It's also thinner as well. Once you get into the oversized, they start getting very girthy. And then I'll put this next to this one too, the little pocket pen. Very, very big difference. Now, actually, I'm gonna take this off the cap, and then I'm gonna put it alongside this one uncapped, because sometimes the section and then the nib and stuff like that are a little extended. They're a little bit different. So this is how you can see how they measure up if they were both touching the same spot. So you can see that this one is much bigger. But then when you look a little bit closer at the section, sections are almost identical. This one actually gets a little bit more narrow in the middle versus the other one just tapers a little bit. So it's interesting, very interesting. And I'm going to look at the other one. Let's take a look at that one too, just to see how they compare this one. This one, yeah, this one also tapers in quite a bit right in the middle, which is nice. That makes it comfortable. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to show you guys some pens of different sizes. I'm gonna, like I said, most pens are gonna be in the medium size. They're gonna be right around this size. I'll see there's some that are smaller, some that are longer, and then some that are much bigger, like that. That's a big pen, but definitely worth checking out. Don't stick with just medium pens. Try little pens. Try really big pens. Try long pens. Try them posted or not posted. It's fun. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we get into the hobby, is all these choices. Here's another one here. So this is to compare with M800, and I'm going to try this. This should be very similar. Yeah, very similar. M800. So the M800 is considered medium standard size. rightfully so, although this is going to be heavier because of the filling mechanism inside. But that's a whole other topic. And then that's what that section looks like there. Very comfortable pen. But this is definitely a little bit weightier. So that's the other thing too. Always look and see what the filling mechanisms are, because sometimes they will add a little bit of weight to them. And then try them out. So many different pens out there. Different materials make them lighter. Sometimes the way that they're made, how many metal components they use, things like that. So that was just a quick look at some different sized pens, just to give you an idea. And thanks for watching. See you again.